If you signed a 30-year mortgage on a new construction home in the last 2 years, you likely bought a product that is engineered to fail in 15 years. There is a silent crisis happening in American real estate. We call it the mortgage gap. For the first time in history, the physical lifespan of a new house is shorter than the loan used to buy it. While your grandfather's brick home was built to stand for a century, modern tract homes are increasingly becoming disposable assets. They are built with materials that dissolve in water, labor that is incentivized to cut corners, and legal contracts that strip you of your right to sue when the walls start to rot. In this report, we are going to expose the value engineering secrets that builders hope you never see, and the one specific inspection you must demand if you want to avoid buying a future teardown. To understand why quality has collapsed, you have to look at who is building your house. 30 years ago, homes were built by local general contractors who lived in the same town as their customers. Their reputation was their livelihood. Today, the market has been captured by massive, publicly traded corporations. These are not home builders, they are logistics companies. When you buy from a volume builder, you are not buying a home designed for humans. You are buying a unit designed for a quarterly earnings report. And to hit those Wall Street targets, they have systematically removed quality from the process using a strategy called piece rate logistics. But before we even talk about the materials, we have to address the biggest lie in the sales brochure, the phrase built to code. When a sales agent tells you a home is built to code, you hear excellence. What a builder hears is minimum legal standard. Building code is not a target for high quality. It is the lowest possible grade you can get without going to jail. It is the equivalent of a student bragging that they got a D- and did not get expelled. In the volume building world, the goal is never to exceed the code. It is to scrape the absolute bottom of that D- standard to save pennies per square foot. Nowhere is this clearer than in the very dirt your house sits on. This brings us to the first major failure point, the foundation. In the past, builders would look for good land. Today, volume builders buy scrape land, swamps, low-lying runoff areas, or hills that need to be leveled. To make this land buildable, they bring in fill dirt. They scrape off the nutrient-rich topsoil, sell it for profit, and replace it with questionable fill dirt that has not been allowed to settle for years. They compact it with machines, pour a slab on top, and cross their fingers. But geology does not care about quarterly earnings. When that fill dirt settles over the first 5 years, it moves. The concrete slab above it cracks. We are seeing brand new homes with catastrophic foundation failures because the house was literally built on loose dirt that is slowly sliding downhill. Once the foundation cracks, the frame twists. That leads to the labor crisis. In the old days, a carpenter was paid by the hour. That encouraged him to measure twice, cut once, and make sure the frame was square. Quality mattered. But in the modern new construction industry, workers are rarely paid by the hour. They are paid by the piece. A framing crew gets a flat fee to frame a house. Whether it takes them 2 weeks or 2 days, the pay is the same. This creates a perverse incentive structure where speed is the only metric that matters. If a worker stops to pull out a crooked stud or seal a leaking pipe, he is literally taking money out of his own pocket. This is not an accident. This is the business plan. It leads to the defects we see constantly: crushed air conditioning ducts, missing roof flashing, and windows that leak inside the walls because the installer did not have time to apply the flashing tape correctly. Defects like these show how speed wins over lasting workmanship. But poor assembly is only half the problem. The materials themselves have been engineered to fail. The most fatal flaw in the modern home is the skeleton itself. Your grandfather's house was built with old-growth lumber. It was dense, dark, and hard as iron. It could get wet and dry out without failing. Today we build with farm-raised lumber. These trees are grown fast, like corn. The wood is soft, full of sap and wants to twist the second it dries. But for the floors, builders have stopped using real wood entirely. They use engineered I-Joists. Effectively, it is wood chips and glue pressed together. It works fine on paper, but the moment water touches it from a slow plumbing leak you cannot see, the glue dissolves. The wood turns back into oatmeal. You cannot repair it. You cannot patch it. Once an engineered I-Joist gets wet, the structural integrity of your floor is gone forever. And because modern homes are wrapped in plastic for energy efficiency, that water gets trapped inside the wall, turning your equity into mold. So why do buyers keep purchasing these ticking time bombs? Because of the builder-grade illusion. Builders know you do not look at the framing, you look at the finishes, so they distract you with granite countertops and stainless steel appliances. But here is the secret. The brand name fixtures in your new home are often imposters. Manufacturers make two versions of almost everything. The retail version you buy at the store has brass valves and ceramic cartridges. The builder-grade version in your new house has plastic valves and cheap rubber washers. They look identical on the outside, but the insides are designed to last exactly as long as the 1-year warranty. And when that warranty expires, you are on your own. And this brings us to the legal trap. You might assume that if your new house starts falling apart, you can sue the builder. In most cases, you cannot. Buried deep in the contract you signed is a clause called binding arbitration. By signing it, you waived your constitutional right to a trial by jury. If your foundation cracks or your walls rot, you do not go to a courtroom. You go to a conference room. The judge is a private arbitrator, often selected from a list provided by the builder. There is no public record. There is no appeal. It is a private justice system designed to protect the corporation, not the homeowner. When you combine expiring materials, piece-rate labor, and zero legal recourse, you do not just get a bad house. You get a future slum. In a historic neighborhood, houses fail randomly. One guy neglects his roof, but the community survives. In a new subdivision, every house was built with the same expiring materials in the same 6-month window. This means the failures will be synchronized. In 15 years, the siding will fail on every house on the street at the same time. The roofs will leak together. The foundations will crack in unison as the fill dirt settles. Suddenly, the entire community faces millions in repairs simultaneously. Property values will crater because nobody wants to buy into a sick neighborhood. You are not just buying a home, you are buying stock in a neighborhood that is programmed to decline. So does this mean you should never buy new? Not necessarily. But you have to stop trusting the glossy brochure and start trusting physics. If you must buy new, you have one weapon, the PRE drywall inspection. Most buyers wait until the house is finished to inspect it. That is too late. The secrets are already hidden behind the paint. You must hire a private inspector, never the one the builder suggests, to walk the site when the skeleton is up and the walls are open. You need someone to look at that cheap framing and say fix it before they cover it up. It will cost you $500. But it is the only way to make sure you are not the one holding the bag when the 15-year clock runs out.